riddle. I am a specialized type of cell associated with a conducting tissue of higher plants. I am elongated with thickened walls and I have tapered ends. Yes, go ahead.
Plackets.
Yes. They solved it on the third clue, 3 points. Welcome to the National Science and Math Quiz. Today we bring you the first of our quarterfinals between Presbyterian Boys Senior High School, Legon, and Keta Senior High School. On my left is Presbyterian Boys Senior High School.
Prosper Gigenio, Form 3.
Asala Jeffrey, Form 3.
Edupoku Frank, Form 3.
You are welcome, gentlemen. You normally bring a large crowd of people to support you. And when you win, they sing. What is it that they are singing? Can you sing a few bars?
It's the school anthem.
I see. What does it say? Few bars. First few.
My voice is not so good, but the words are happy are we, studious are we. We are students of Presbyterian Boys Secondary School.
I see. On my right is Keta Senior High School.
Kadovitis, SS3.
Agbawa Wilson, SS3.
Ajibolos Nicholas, SS3.
You are also welcome, gentlemen. Do you also have a school anthem, a school song?
Once to every man and nation comes the moment to decide.
All right. Okay. As always, the contest comes to you in 5 rounds. We'll start with the round for fundamental concepts. The questions in this round, as you are familiar with, are very simple in nature. Please listen carefully and answer the question posed to you. We just wish to test your knowledge of basic principles in science and mathematics. If you answer your question correctly, 3 points. If the question is incorrectly answered, it's passed on for a bonus point. All right? You have 30 seconds for questions involving calculations and 15 seconds for questions that do not. Let's start the contest with you, Keta. But what we'll do is we will alternate in one attempt, and we'll do this twice. Okay? Mention one conservation law that must be observed in a nuclear reaction. Only one, and do it in one attempt. So, Keta, you are first. Yes, Wilson?
Conservation of energy.
All right. Presbyterian Boys. Yes, Prosper.
Conservation of mass. Atomic mass.
No, I'm passing it on for a bonus. Yes, Wilson.
Conservation of total charge.
Conservation of charge. And now your own question, a different one. Go ahead, Nicholas.
Conservation of atomic mass.
That's incorrect. And so for a bonus. Yes, Frank.
Conservation of atomic number.
No. Your own 10. Yes, Prosper. Frank.
Conservation of mass number.
No. A bonus.
Conservation of angular momentum.
All right. Other options: conservation of momentum and conservation of nucleon number. All right. Next pair of questions to be answered in one attempt. Keta, even though the abdomen of a cockroach has 10 segments, only the first 7 can be seen. Why is this so? Yes, Nicholas.
This is because the tegum of the the tegum of the 8 segments covers the rest segments.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. Yes, it's the tegum that covers them from view, but the tegum is the 7th segment. You started right, then you went to 8 segments on the 7th segment. All right, Presbyterian boys. Even though the thorax of citrus swallowtail butterfly consists of 3 segments, these segments cannot be clearly seen. Why is this so? One attempt. Frank.
Madam, the first thoracic segment, that's the protonum, covers the rest.
That's incorrect, so I'm passing it on for a bonus. Wilson.
The scales present on them the scales present on the body covers the.
No, it's not scales. This is because they are covered with hair. Hair. Next pair of questions. Keta, distinguish between positional isomerism and stereoisomerism. Yes, Victus.
Positional isomerism is existence of compounds with the same molecular formula and structure formula, but different position of the functional group. Whereas in stereoisomerism is the existence of isomers which have the orientation of their carbon atoms in space different.
2 out of 3. You got the positional isomers all right, but the stereoisomerism, I wasn't too pleased with that explanation. In stereoisomerism, the isomers have the same functional groups, bonded in the same order, but they differ in the orientation in space. We are talking about the carbon. And it's not necessarily the carbon, it's the functional groups that are oriented differently in 3-dimensional space. All right. Presbyterian boys, why are cis-trans isomerism and optical isomerism both considered as stereoisomerism? Yes, Asala.
Madam, this is because for cis and trans isomerism, they have the same carbon atoms in the same ratio. That's, they have the same structural formula, but the functional groups are bonded in a different orientation in space.
2 out of 3. You talked only about the cis-trans, you explained rightly, but you didn't get to the optical isomers. The optical isomers are optically active, whereas the cis-trans isomers may not be optically active, but then the arrangement of atoms in space is exactly like what you have with the cis-trans, different orientations in space. All right, to both schools. When I get to you, I will give you an inequality. What you have to do is to solve the inequality for x. Keta, your inequality. Absolute value of 2x minus 3 is less than 7. Yes, Victus.
Minus 2 less than x less than 5.
All right. Pure inequality, Presbyterian boys. Absolute value of 3x minus 5 is greater than 4. Yes, Asala.
X is greater than 3, or x is less than 1 over 3.
Yes. Keta, what are the elytra, E-L-Y-T-R-A, of a grain weevil, and what is their function? Yes, Nicholas.
They refer to the hardened forewings of the green weevil, and they protect the membranous hind wings.
Yes. Presbyterian boys, what is the rostrum, R-O-S-T-R-U-M, of a grain weevil, and what is its function? Yes, Frank.
It is the modified mouth on it. With the modified mouth, it is pointed and it's used for boring into grains.
Okay. The next pair of questions are to be answered in one attempt. Keta, name the components of steel used in making railway lines. Yes, Victors.
Carbon and iron.
2 out of 3. Iron, carbon, and manganese. Presbyterian boys, in one attempt, name the components of the steel used for making permanent magnets. Yes, Frank.
Iron, carbon, cobalt, and chromium.
2 out of 3. Iron and carbon, then the main one is nickel. And then sometimes they add the cobalt and the aluminum. So nickel had to be present. Last pair of questions. Keta, the height of a cylinder is twice its radius. Given that the height is 14 centimeters, find its volume. Take pi to be 22/7. Yes, Nicholas.
2,156 cm3.
Yes, that's right. The height of a right circular cone is 3 times the base radius. If the height is 21 centimeters, find its volume. You can also take pi to be 22/7. Asala.
1,008 centimeter cube.
Try again. Yes, Frank.
1,078 centimeter cube.
That's right. That's the end of the first round. At the end of the first round, Presbyterian Boys Senior High School has 13 points. Keta Senior High School has 20 points. We have a long way ahead of us. We've only finished the first round, so round 2. The questions in this round are more applied in nature because this is a round for applied science. So what we'd like you to do is to apply the basic principles, like the ones you saw in the first round, to explain in certain situations that happen around us or in the labs, all right? If you answer correctly, 3 points. If your answer is incorrect, it's passed on for bonus points. Partial credit is very possible in this round for partially answered questions. If a question involves calculations, 30 seconds. If it doesn't, 15 seconds. Let's start this time with Presbyterian boys. Find an equation of variation in which y varies as x and inversely as z squared, and y is equal to 2 when x is equal to 10 and z is equal to 5. Yes, Frank.
Y is equal to kx all over z squared, where k is 5.
Okay. Keta, find an equation of variation in which y varies inversely as x and directly as z squared, given that y is equal to 4 when x is equal to 3 and z is equal to 2. Yes, Nicholas.
Y equals 3z squared all over x.
That's right. Presbyterian boys, explain how the operation of an incandescent lamp differs from the operation of a neon lamp. Yes, Frank.
An incandescent lamp produces light when heated, but as a result of a heated metallic filament in it. But the neon light produces light as a result of electrical discharge through the neon, which is at low pressure and at high potential difference.
Add something. 2 out of 3. I was satisfied with your explanation for the incandescent lamp, but not so satisfied with your explanation for the neon lamp. The neon lamp generates light from de-excitation of excited electrons. So you pass an electric current through it. What happens is that the atoms become excited, they move to higher energy levels. When they become de-excited, they release energy, okay? All right. So Keta, your turn. State the difference between an internal combustion engine and an external combustion engine. When you finish that, give an example of each as applied to vehicular transportation. Yes, Victors.
The An example of the internal is the petrol engine, that's the 4-stroke engine, and that of the external is the 2-stroke engine. And also the
1 out of 3. Yes, you are right. An example of the internal combustion engine is the petrol vehicle, right? The 4-stroke, that's fine. But an example of the external combustion engine is a steamship. Okay, a steamship. Now the main difference, the internal combustion engine, the working fluid is in direct contact with the combustible material. That means that the combustible material is burnt inside the engine. Whereas for the external combustion engine, the working fluid is not in direct contact with the combustible material, but it's in thermal contact nonetheless, okay? So the combustible material is burnt outside of the engine, like in the steamship. Next pair of questions, Presbyterian boys. In which chemical form does aluminium exist in bauxite? Yes, Frank.
Madam, it exists as an oxide of aluminium with an hydrated oxide with water attached to it. And the water molecules can be 1, 2, or 3, and it exists as Al2O3.XH2O, where the X can be 1, 2, or 3.
Is that all? 2 out of 3. Generally exists in 2 forms. The hydrated aluminium oxide, which you mentioned, Al2O3.2H2O, or aluminium hydroxide, AlOH3, okay? All right. Keta, why is bauxite treated with hot NaOH solution in the Bayer process? Yes, Victors.
This to dissolve the bauxite in order to be precipitated after. This is used to filter out the impurities, since the sodium hydroxide will form precipitate with the silica and iron. Silica, which is an impurity, for it to be removed.
Explain better, Wilson.
The aluminium will combine with the sodium hydroxide to form a precipitate. That's aluminium hydroxide. That's OH4 plus. Whilst it will also combine with the other.
Stop, and let me give the mark for Victors. 2 out of 3. Victors, you had the right answer, but you were doing certain things that. Anyway, the bauxite normally occurs with impurities like silica. Okay, so when you add the hot concentrated NaOH, what it does is that it dissolves the bauxite. It dissolves it. We are not talking about precipitation here. So if it's able to dissolve it, then the impurities are left behind when you filter. So you can separate the bauxite from the impurities. Not all this precipitation. Next pair of questions to be answered in one attempt. There is an order of mammals that feed mainly on insects and are referred to as insectivora. What is the most distinguishing feature that enables them to feed efficiently on insects? One attempt. Yes, Frank.
Madam, they have long, sticky tongues which they can stretch out to capture the insects.
No, for a bonus. No, it's not a tongue. They have an elongated snout, the mouth area and the part of the face around the mouth, that is elongated so that they can fish out hidden insects. Your own question, Keta. The 5 toes of a chameleon are fused into a group of 2 and a group of 3. What do you think is the advantage of this? One attempt. Yes, Wilson.
This to increase the surface area of the toe so that it can, mainly the camels walk in desert areas so that it will exert less pressure so that it can walk easily in the, and for stability.
For a bonus. Yes, Asala.
This is to help the camel, this is to help the chameleon grape trees hold on to the branches.
Yes. About chameleon, then I heard things about camel. Please listen to the question carefully. Your own question, Presbyterian boys. The length of a rectangle is increased by 20% and the breadth is decreased by 10%. Find the percentage increase or decrease in the area of the rectangle. Yes, Asala.
The area is increased by 18%.
Try again.
It's increased by 8%.
Yes. Keta, the area of a square is decreased by 36%. Find the percentage decrease in the length of a side. Yes, Nicholas.
8%.
Try again. Yes, Wilson.
6%.
One more chance. Wilson, is your hand up? No. For a bonus. Yes, Prosper.
4%.
No. The right answer is 20%. Your own question. A piece of bone is discovered in an archaeological excavation, and the researchers wish to identify how old the bone is. There is a popular technique using radioactivity that can be used to determine the age of the bone. What is this technique and how does it work? Yes, Frank.
The technique is the carbon-14 dating. And for the bone, they take the bone and use the sample of the bone in a Geiger-Müller counter and count and take the counts per second, or the activity or rate the rate of disintegration, and compare it with the rate of disintegration of a bone, which a fresh bone or a live bone, which will have this disintegration of carbon. And using the half-life of carbon, they're able to calculate carbon-14. They're able to calculate the age of the bone.
Whose live bone are they going to take to compare? I'll give you 2 out of 3. Yes, the technique is carbon dating or carbon-14 dating. Yes, you measure the activity of carbon-14 coming from the sample, then you compare it to atmospheric activity, not somebody's bone. All right. Your question, Keta. Explain why carbon-14 dating methods cannot be used to determine the age of a living organism. We assume here that living organisms can only be found on Earth. Yes, Victus.
This is because living organisms take in plant, and also the ratio of carbon, the formation of carbon-14 is equal to the rate of disintegration of the carbon-14, so it cannot be used.
Add something, Nicholas.
And also for the dating to be done, the bone must be taken away from the, and this must be taken away from the living organism.
Try again. I'm passing this on for a bonus.
Madam.
Yes.
For the living organism, the carbon-14, the amount of carbon-14 in it is being replenished every time. It takes food which contains carbon-14 because plants use carbon for their photosynthesis, and also brings out carbon-14 in the form of carbon dioxide during respiration. So the amount of carbon-14 in the living organism is constant, but when it dies, it begins to disintegrate because it takes no more carbon-14 from the atmosphere or through plants is added onto it.
Okay. The main thing is that if you measure the activity of carbon-14 in a living organism, because it's constantly interacting with the atmosphere, if you compare to the atmospheric carbon-14, it will be the same, so you can't do that. And that's what he explained. The next pair of questions are to be answered in one attempt. Presbyterian boys, what do you expect to observe if a few drops of concentrated H2SO4 are added to some crystals of Fe2SO43 in a test tube? Yes, Prosper.
If it contains NO3 minus, a brown ring will form at the junction
of the H2SO4
and the Fe2SO4.
For a bonus. Yes, Nicholas.
There will be no observation.
What do you mean, no observation? It's a bonus, so I won't give you. You will see something. You don't suddenly become blind. So there will be an observation. What you will observe is a clear solution. Clear solution. No gas, no precipitate. Clear solution. Your own question. A few crystals of Fe2SO43 are dissolved in a test tube, and a solution of PbNO32 are added dropwise and in excess. What do you expect to see? One attempt.
Yes, Victus. A white PPT of PBSO4 will be formed.
What did you say?
A white PPT of PBSO4.
2 out of 3. Yes, a white precipitate of PBSO4 will be formed, and this will be insoluble in excess, will not dissolve after you continue adding. All right, Presbyterian boys, human beings have binocular vision. What does this mean, and what is the advantage of binocular vision? Yes, Frank.
Madam, it means that they have 2 eyes for seeing, and they see things in 3 dimensions. And the advantage of this is that if one eye is lost, the other eye too can be used. And also it gives a better image of the object being seen, because this eye sees from one direction, the other sees from one direction, and the brain interprets as a 3-dimensional figure, giving a better...
I'll give you 1 out of 3. I particularly liked your thing of if one eye is lost, the other one can be... That's not right. That's not what I was looking for. Anyway, binocular vision means that the image of the same object can be focused on the 2 retinas of both eyes. That's really what it means to have binocular vision. You can focus an image, the same object, 2 of the retinas. The advantage is that it permits 3-dimensional vision, and it also makes the judgment of distance accurate. So depth and distance perception. All right. Keta, the terms, 2 terms, spawning and swarming, are used in relation to fishes and insects, respectively. What do these terms mean? Yes, Nicholas.
Spawning is, it refers to the process by which male fishes shed sperms on their eggs so as to fertilize them, whilst swarming refers to the flying out of insects, especially termites, during when it rains, and after which, and it is called natural flight for fertilization to occur.
1 out of 3. Spawning is the seasonal movement of some fishes upstream to lay large numbers of eggs. So it involves laying of eggs, but they have to go upstream, so they travel somewhere in order to do this. And then the swarming is the movement of large numbers of insects, not just termites. Any group of insects can decide to swarm. They move out in a specific direction, so they all move in one specific direction.
Good morning, class. Good morning, sir. You remember what I told you about the exams?
No fees, no exam.
That's right. No fees, no exam. Ato?
Yes, sir.
Out.
Hello, Dad.
Hello, Ato.
Can you please send me the money in 30 minutes?
Yes.
Absolutely. First, get your eSwitch card. Then, go to any eSwitch merchant, eSwitch ATMs, bank or savings and loans company nationwide.
Please transfer 250 Ghana cedis to my son Ato's account. This is his eSwitch number.
All you need is the recipient's eSwitch card number printed on the reverse side of the card.
I've sent you the money. Use 200 for your exams fee and 50 for your provisions, okay?
To receive the money, go to any eSwitch point of sale terminal or ATM and load the money on your card, or draw the cash from a bank or savings and loans company or eSwitch merchant. Get an eSwitch card now and enjoy a safer, faster and more convenient means of transferring your money nationwide.
Oh, your puppy day.
eSwitch, easy banking for everyone.
At the end of the second round, Presbyterian Boys has 28 points. Keta Senior High School has 29 points. All right, the contest is very, very close, and we've got to the top of round 3. Round 3 is our problem of the day. The problem of the day is supposed to engage you a bit longer than what the other problems have done. And so from the time I ask you to begin, you will have 3 minutes in which to present an answer. The problem of the day is worth 10 points. Let's turn over our sheets and read the problem of the day together. Problem of the day. Fill in the blanks numbered 1 to 10 in the table below. So I have a table with 4 columns. Column headings: organism, phylum, class, order. So we are to provide certain bits of information. 1, provide the order for praying mantid. 2, provide the class for salamander. 3, provide the order for antelope. 4, provide the phylum for barnacle. 5, provide the class for sea urchin. 6, provide the class for pepper. 7, provide the phylum for mushroom. 8, provide the phylum for fucus. 9, provide the order for porcupine. And finally, 10, provide the class for spider lily. This is our problem of the day. Good luck. You may begin. The contestants have presented their answers. Before we award the marks, let's look at the ideal solution from our consultants. The order for praying mantid is Dictyoptera. The class for salamander is Amphibia. The order for antelope is Artiodactyla. The phylum for barnacle is Arthropoda. The class for sea urchin is Echinoidea. The class for pepper is Dicotyledonii. The phylum for mushroom is Basidiomycota or Basidiomycetes. The phylum for fucus is Phaeophyta. The order for porcupine is Rodentia. And the class for spider lily is Monocotyledonii. This is the ideal solution from our consultants. Now our contestants. Keta, you had 4 and 6 wrong. I'm going to ignore the misspelling of echinoidea and give that to you. That makes it 8 out of 10. Presbyterian boys, I am happy to award you a perfect score. That's the end of the problem of the day and the end of round 3. Round 4. Most questions in this round involve calculations, and so you have 30 seconds in which to provide an answer. Should the question not involve calculations, you have 15 seconds in which to do so. A correctly answered question fetches 3 points. A wrongly answered question is passed on for a bonus point. Good luck. Let's begin with Keta. When lead-2 sulfide is heated in excess air, sulfur-4 oxide and lead-2 oxide are formed. Write a balanced equation for the reaction. Yes, Nicholas?
2 PBS plus 3 O2 going to 2 SO2 plus 2 PBO.
Yes, that's right. Presbyterian boys, in the extraction of lead from its ore galena, which is PBS, the ore is roasted to form the oxide. The lead oxide then reacts with unchanged lead sulfide to give metallic lead and sulfur-4 oxide. Write a balanced equation for the reaction. Yes, Frank.
2 PBO plus PBS going into 3 PB plus SO2.
That's right. Next pair of questions are to be answered in one attempt. Keta, which of the following is not common to both Paramecium and Euglena? Your options: A, a body covered with pellicle. B, reproduction by both sexual and asexual means. C, presence of contractile vacuoles. D, body with blunt anterior end. And E, presence of a gullet. Yes, Wilson.
B, both sexual and asexual means of reproduction.
Yes. Presbyterian boys, 1 attempt. Which of the following is not common to both liverworts and mosses? Your options: A, absence of true roots, stems, and leaves. B, showing of alternation of generation. C, a flattened body that is close to the ground. D, the presence of rhizoids. And E, preference for damp and moist habitats. Yes, Frank?
C, that is flattened body close to the ground.
Yes. Keta, find the numbers A and B such that x squared minus 4x minus 5 is equal to A plus the expression x plus B all squared. Did you get that? Yes, Nicholas.
A is -9 and B is -2.
Yes. Presbyterian boys, find the numbers A and B such that x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to A plus the expression x plus B all squared. Yes, Asala.
B is -5/2. A is -1/4.
Yes. Keta, calculate in electron volts the amount of energy that will be released if 20 kilograms of matter were converted entirely into energy. You may leave your answer in terms of the simplest fraction. Some information for you. The speed of light is 3 times 10 to the power 8 meters per second, and 1 electron volt is 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 joules. Yes, Wilson.
16 over 3 times 10 to the power minus 28.
Try again.
2.88 electron volts.
One last chance. Yes, Vectors.
2.88 times 10 power minus 3 electron volts.
No. So for a bonus. Yes, Asala.
1.125 times 10 to the power 38 electron volts.
No. The right answer, and this is going to hit, is 1.125 times 10 to the 37 electron volts. Your own question. What is the mass equivalent of 0.5 mega electron volts of energy? You may leave your answer as the simplest fraction and use this information. Speed of light, 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. 1 electron volt is still 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 joules. Yes, Frank.
0.88 times 10 minus 4 kilograms.
Try again.
8.88 times 10 to the power minus 34 kilograms.
One last chance. For a bonus. Yes, Wilson.
2.66 times 10 to the power 37 kilograms.
No. Actually, you were to leave your answer as the simplest fraction. So the right answer is 8 over 9 times 10 to the negative 30 kilograms, or 8.89 times 10 to the negative 31 kilogram. Keta, 18.5 grams of propanoic acid are treated with excess boiling ethanol in the presence of a small amount of concentrated H2SO4. If 20.4 grams of the expected ester are obtained, what is the percentage yield of the preparation? Molar mass of propanoic acid is 74, and that for ethanol is 46. Yes, Wilson.
72%.
Try again. Yes, Nicholas.
80%.
80%. Presbyterian boys, when 23.9 grams of lead sulfide are roasted in air, only 20.07 grams of the oxide are obtained. What is the percentage conversion? Molar mass for lead sulfide, PBS, is 239, and that for lead oxide, PBO, is 223. Yes, Asala?
90%.
That's right. The next pair of questions are to be answered in one attempt. Keta, with which of the following would you associate Lang book? Your options: A, millipede, B, snake, C, earthworm, D, spider, and E, leech. Yes, Wilson.
Spider.
Yes, it's the spider. Presbyterian boys, remember one attempt. With which of the following would you associate compound eyes? Your options: A, lobster, B, oyster, C, scorpion, D, frog, and E, octopus. Frank?
Lobster.
Yes, it's the lobster. Preamble to both schools. When I get to you, I will give you an equation and coordinates of a point. What you are to do is to find the equation of the tangent to the circle at the given point on the circle. So the equation I give you is actually the equation of a circle. Okay? Find the equation of the tangent to the circle at the given point on the circle. So, Keta, your circle is x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 4y minus 5 is equal to 0. And the point is A with coordinates 4, 1. Yes, Nicholas?
Y equals 4x minus 15.
Try again. Yes, Wilson?
Y equals to 3x plus 1.
One last chance. Yes, Victors?
Minus 2y minus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0.
No, for a bonus. Yes, Prosper?
3y plus x minus 7 equals 0.
No. The right answer is y is equal to 3x minus 11. Now, your own circle and coordinates. The circle is x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. And the point is A with coordinates negative 3, 4. Prosper?
3y plus 4x equals 0.
No. Asala?
Y plus 3x. Y plus 3x is equal to minus 5.
No. For a bonus. Yes, which of you? Victors?
4y plus 3x minus 7 equals 0.
No. The right answer is 4y is equal to 3x plus 25. Last pair of questions for the round. Keta, a proton traveling with a speed of 2/167 times 10 to the power 6 meters per second. So it's a fraction times 10 to the power 6 meters per second. I hope you got that. Enters a magnetic field of strength 1.0 Tesla at right angles to the direction of the field. Calculate the radius of the circle through which the proton will travel. Some information for you. The mass of a proton is 1.67 times 10 to the negative 27 kilogram, and the charge on a proton is 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 coulomb. Yes, Nicholas?
2 meters.
Try again. Yes, Wilson?
3.2 meters.
No. One more chance. Yes, Nicholas?
2 times 10 is negative 20 meters.
No. So for a bonus. Yes, Frank?
1.25 times 10 to the power minus 4 meters.
Yes. Your own question. A proton traveling with a speed of 4 times 10 to the power 7 meters per second enters a magnetic field of strength 2 Tesla at an angle of 30 degrees. calculate the magnitude of the magnetic force that acts on the proton. The charge on the proton is 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 coulomb. Yes, Asala.
6.4 times 10 to the minus 2 newtons.
Try again. Prosper.
6.4 times 10 raised to the power minus 12 newtons.
Yes. That's the end of the fourth round.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
Some okay, they make a chair mono.
Wait, yeah, won't show.
Sanity. Went ya, won't show. Ato?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Ato.
Number 2, my name is Kansas here.
Anya day.
Near Dikine, Mount can we Eastridge card. Afi, Kobibia Omedi point of sale terminal near Jumebia, and Abibia Eastridge ATM, and our bank in savings and loans company be a benwo.
Mpacho transfer 250 Ghana cedis coming back to account so one way. Mpacho ni Eastridge account number ni.
Niahian on your chrono Eastridge card. Sa number were Eastridge card in Echipe.
Mama no sikano. For 200 cedis to your exams fee no.
That's the
Not for 50 no bomb what it.
So person juice ka mania and one so be ko bibia Eastridge point of sale terminal and abibia Eastridge ATM wo. Obetima juice ka ne go card no so amunu mu ho a. Obetimi so agi sika every bank and our savings and loans company be a ben wo. And now omo Eastridge for amomu tumi say won tue sika man kronfo. Kwaje o Eastridge card sesia. Eastridge e kwan pa obetimi amane sika and 10 times so omo amu ni nyina.
Oh, Papa, you're tough.
Eastridge, easy banking for everyone.
At the end of the fourth round, the scores are Presbyterian Boys Senior High School, 57 points. Keta Senior High School, 52 points. The contest is still very close and will be decided in this final round. Round 5 comes to you in 2 parts. For the first part of the round, I'm going to give your school statements. When you get your statement, please consider it and let me know whether the statement is true or false. If you are right, 2 points. If your answer is incorrect, you lose a precious point. You may decide not to answer at all, in which case the statement is passed on for the benefit of the 2 full points. Let's begin with Presbyterian Boys. First statement. When a person is at rest, breathing involving the use of the ribs is more important than the use of the diaphragm. Yes, Frank?
False.
It's false. Keta, a transformer, operates on the principle of mutual induction. Yes, Victor?
It's true.
Yes, it is. The hydrogen atom exhibits 3 oxidation states. Frank?
True.
Yes, it's true. For a reflection in the line y is equal to x, the point with coordinates xy is mapped onto the point with coordinates yx. Yes, Victor?
It's true.
Yes. In a circle, equal chords subtend equal angles at the center. Yes, Frank?
True.
Yes. During inspiration, contraction of the muscles of the diaphragm increases the transverse diameter of the thorax. Victors?
It's true.
Oh no. It's not the transverse diameter that is increased, it's actually the vertical diameter which is increased. In reverse bias, a diode normally conducts large currents. Yes, Frank?
False.
It's false. The oxidation state of carbon in methanol is different from the oxidation state of methanol. Yes, Victor?
It's false.
Oh, no. All right, Presbyterian Boys. Eggshells, marble, and gypsum are all chemically identical. Yes, Frank?
False.
It's false. Sine of the angle 90 degrees minus A is equal to negative sine of the angle A. Victors?
It's false.
Yes. Tissue fluid is reabsorbed into the blood at the arterial end of a capillary bed. Yes, Frank?
False.
False. A holographic image is three-dimensional. Yes, Victors?
It's true.
Yes. Alpha particles are always emitted from a nuclear disintegration with definite kinetic energy. Yes, Frank?
False.
No. It will require more charge to liberate a mole of Cl2 from molten NaCl than a mole of magnesium from molten MgCl2. Yes, Victors?
It's false.
It's false. Last pair of statements. Presbyterian boys, a function f of x is odd if f of negative x is equal to f of x. Yes, Frank?
False.
False. Lymph contains less protein than plasma. Yes, Victors?
It's true.
Yes, it's true. So we are done with the first part of round 5. For the second part of the round, I'm going to ask you to solve some riddles. I will provide you with clues. If you solve the riddle on the first clue, 5 points. If you solve it on the second clue, 4 points. If you solve it on the third or any clue after that, 3 points. When you are ready to solve a riddle, you have to alert me. You do so by ringing your bell. May I hear your bell, Presbyterian boys? Thank you. And yours, Keta? Thank you. When you ring the bell, it means you have a response ready. You are competing for time. Good luck. Let's begin. First riddle. I am a well-known fellow when it comes to optics. I am one of the first people you meet in your study of geometrical optics. The word length is often associated with my name. Even though I am at home with shiny and smooth surfaces, you might think of me as a crooked fellow, since I don't exist for straight surfaces. You can think of me as a meeting point. Yes, Presbyterian boys?
Wavelength.
Oh, no. So I thank you for your benefit, Keta. You can think of me as a meeting point for light rays. So who am I? Yes, go ahead.
Focal point.
I'll give you them. The answer is focus, but focal point is just as good. Next riddle. I am a process that has a double-barreled name. I am not one of those reactions you can perform in your school chemistry lab. I deal with electrons, but not valence electrons. As a process, I am so negative that I produce negative results or at best neutral results. Whenever I occur, I change one element into another. Who rang? Yes, go ahead.
Nuclear reaction.
That's not right. So for your benefit, Presbyterian boys, whenever I occur, I change one element into another of lower atomic number. I transform a proton in a nucleus into a neutron. So who am I? Go ahead.
Beta decay.
No. The right answer is electron capture. Electron capture. Next riddle. I am a specialized type of cell associated with a conducting tissue of higher plants. I am elongated with thickened walls, and I have tapered ends. Yes, go ahead.
Brackets.
Yes. They solved it on the third clue, 3 points. Final riddle. I am a 3-digit number. I am a square. To be precise, I am the square of a square. My first digit is an even prime. Yes.
225.
That's incorrect. It's not correct. The sum of my digits is 13, and my last 2 digits are consecutive integers. The difference of my second digit and my first digit is 3. I am 6 over a double century and a half. Who am I? I know you are excited. Go ahead.
256.
256. That's the end of round 5. At the end of the contest, the final scores are Presbyterian Boys Senior High School, Legon, 73 points. Keta Senior High School, 68 points. Keta Senior High School, you did very well and you gave us an excellent contest. Unfortunately, today was not it. All the best. Presbyterian boys, congratulations on winning this one. That was a scare for you, was it not? All right. I wish you well with your preparations and I shall look forward to seeing you in the semi-finals. Viewers, thank you for joining us for this contest. You have to agree with me that it was an excellent one. I hope you are making your plans to join us next time when we bring you Tamale Senior High School and St. Augustine's College for our second quarter final. That is bound to be another excellent contest. Don't miss it. For now, goodbye and see you.